Evelyn to Philip, V-mail dated September 29, 1944. Dearest Phil, today, sweet, your most welcome letter of the 20th arrived. So you're company clerk now, with the man to help you out. If only they'd give you that sergeant's stripe. By the way, Gloria said she has a feeling Jack will make sergeant in the near future. Many men keep moving in and out, and he has an opportunity, so who knows? We have our radio back, and it plays once more. It's a pleasure. Well, honey, it's exactly 2 months to our daughter's 2nd birthday. Do you still have hopes of making it? I guess you'll have to wait for the 3rd one, but definitely. I've been calling the shoe stores every few days, and I'm still unable to obtain the corrective shoes for Adele. Besides this, her other shoes are getting smaller all the time, and it will soon be necessary for me to have shoes, corrective or not. Why is it I always have to get everything the hard way? No shoes, no stroller. I don't know. How I wish you were here to shop for me. Last night I succeeded in writing 4 other letters besides yours. I wrote to Cy, Ed, Phil, Cousin Phil Strongan, and Jack Ann. I had just received the reproductions of the snaps we took together and sent them right along to him. I'm not surprised that you haven't heard from him, but undoubtedly he is so wrapped up in Maryland that he hasn't time to think, let alone writing. I sent several of Adele's other snaps, which were my favorites for Jack to enlarge for me. It became cooler again today, but it still isn't necessary to turn on the heat. I love this not too warm, not too cold weather. I'm still giving my suit daily wear, wearing a different blouse each day. I think, sweet, that I am going to have my eyes examined first chance I get. My eyes get tired too quickly, and 9 times out of 10 they cause me severe headaches when that way. Remember how you used to ask me if I could see little print at a distance? Well, I haven't tested myself, but I intend to have them examined to be sure. My brother Jack is familiar with an excellent eye doctor in the neighborhood, and I shall have Jack talk to him for me. I do use my eyes more than ever these days, what with knitting, typing, etc. It's only a wonder they get so tired. I spoke to Dot this evening. Remember Edith and Marty, or didn't you meet them? Well, Marty was a 4F due to underweight and was rejected many times. Finally, they went on their own. They had been living with her folks, and suddenly he was recalled and accepted, having left today. Dot plays gin rummy almost every night in the week, and I rarely find her home when I call. I've been meaning to see her these past few weekends, but never could manage it. Perhaps I'll see her tomorrow if Adele will go to sleep early. And now, if you don't mind, baby, move a little closer so that I can love you some more. Gee, but I adore you. Your Ev. Philip to Evelyn, 29 September 1944. My darling Evie, didn't write last night because I was just too tired. Not physically, perhaps, but my brain just refused to function. I had another of those rare attacks of homesickness that leave me with no desire to do anything but lay on my back and court oblivion in sleep. What induces these occasional pangs of an overwhelming longing for you and home, I don't exactly know. It may have been the snatch of song I heard on the barracks radio while passing by, or the melancholy dusk of the autumn twilight, or something about the demure little walk of a sweet-faced blonde little girl I encountered walking along the road with her old grandmother. Or it may have been a combination of all 3. Or none of them. I don't know. All I do know is that I suddenly felt horribly alone and lonely, and that I longed for the sight of you more acutely than I have in months. Anyway, sweet, it brought on a torpor in me that I couldn't fight off long enough to write you the customary letter. Tonight, though, I miss you as much as ever. Only a vestige of last night's depression remains. There wasn't much doing in the orderly room today, but a number of things came up that will have to be tended to tomorrow. I am CQ again tonight, and it is so still here in the orderly room that I can almost hear the scraping as I collect my thoughts. Your V-mail of 21 September, which arrived yesterday, is propped page 2 up in front of me. You were in high spirits that day because you had received a lot of mail. Unfortunately, honey, your letter is chatty and informative, and nothing in it inspires a thought or question on my part. I was just out to deliver a message. It is a clear, cool night, and the harvest moon, riding serenely among wispy bits of white cloud, is redolent of many memories, all tending to induce that sweet, sad feeling that is born of such memories, memories that are more felt than remembered. I'm in a very curious mood again tonight, sweet, so if I say anything that sounds a little queer, please forgive me. Right now, I am trying to subdue an unwanted urge to cut this short and hit the sack, which seems to be beckoning invitingly. Really, sweet, I hardly know what to write about. Everything that crosses my thoughts seems to be as insignificant beside the great intensity of longing that is as a tangible weight in my breast that I am very little inclined to expend the little effort required to put this down. Darling, if faith and hope were not equally strong within me, I think I would just perish for the lack of something to live for. It is only the thought of being one day with you once again that sustains me in these senseless, wasted days and months. I feel sometimes that time is static, that I am living in an aura of suspense, and all sorts of odd impressions assail me from time to time. Page 3. The dream of coming home, of just being with you and Adele, visualized 1,000 times since I left you, has attained to a pricelessness that makes the wish for its fulfillment so intense that it is almost a physical discomfort to allow myself to dwell on it. I had flattered myself, Eve, dearest, that the worst pangs of loneliness and heartsickness were far behind me, but unfortunately I was wrong. I find myself wanting you, at this late date, almost desperately at times. There was a time, I'll admit, when I thought I was the master of myself to the extent that I could learn to take this longing for you for granted, that I could live with it with equanimity. Instead, my distress, the result of the continued inaccessibility of my dearest, almost my only wish, is increasingly difficult to stifle. My head tells me that I am a fool to tell you this, my sweet, but my heart wants to cry out to you for solace and comfort, and will not be stilled by this saner admonitions of my mind. Please, baby, forgive my heart's impulsiveness. Still, it's clamoring for you by reassuring it with your love. It loves you so much. Do you begin to understand, honey, why it is almost impossible for me to write of anything else while I feel this way? Somehow, I feel better now that I got that off my chest. See you tomorrow, Chippy. My dearest love to you and the pumpkin. My love to all. Always your Phil.